what I know. Better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes. Call me aggressive with my flow. Call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right.
Yeehaw, soldiers, it's your boy the Anime Sage coming to another video. And this is What If Deku Was in Uchiha Part 6, and this is also the finale of the series, so yeah, let's get into this. And I'll also be presenting two endings into this What If for like the finale. One dark ending and one light ending, so that should be fun. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Beautiful Halo. If you want some nice looking anime and meme apparel or clothing, this is a site for you. You'll see this code meme for 5% off orders of $49+ and code memes for 10% off orders of $99+. I repeat, code memes. Also, you buy stuff there, also supports me, so go check out Beautiful Halo. Their links will be in the description. In terms of this week, you guys will get What If Naruto was saying on tomorrow, so get hyped for that. Watch my community tab like a hawk as you guys get polls for updates, deeply select what would you want for the week, and of course some other fun stuff in between. So again, watch my community tab like a hawk. Check out my Patreon, has some nice rewards you can get to support me financially. The link's out in the description. And now it's time for some quick social media plugs. Twitter is @AnimeStage4, Instagram is @anime_stage4, and of course from my Discord server. I'll give you all reasons to follow us at the end of the video, so watch until the end. Also, follow me on Twitch, so, it's linked in the description, so, yeah. Alright, time for your checklist. If you haven't seen the last part, the link's out in the description. And if you haven't seen the series at all, check out the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you love this series, go subscribe because, again, 65% of people watching videos aren't subscribed, so go subscribe. Okay, with all out of the way, let's get right into the finale. Alright, so in the last part, Deku got ready for his internship with Sir Night-Eye. He's doing pretty well at it as he and Sir Night-Eye are already familiar with each other, and Deku also has the opportunity to meet and train with Mirio, a guy who has more experience than him as a upperclassman at UA. So yeah, it's a big positive for my boy Deku. Meanwhile, there's still a fight over his mind and heart, as now and Dark Deku have a feeling that the time for Deku to make a choice is drawing near, and that means that Deku will soon either choose the path of light or the path of darkness. We don't know what events will kickstart that choice, but they both feel that the time for a choice is drawing near. Now I will say, I bet you will feel the same thing I'm feeling right now. The time for his choice is drawing near. Dark Deku will say, yes, and I will say that while this was fun to have those bickering battles with you, the choice is coming, and one of us will soon have to disappear, as there it takes the other's power. Ah well, let's see what happens. Deku over the next week will keep an eye on Ida, as he saw that he was a bit shaken from his brother being essentially, well, disabled. Deku knows that Ida could do something very stupid, especially since Ida took an internship in the same city where his brother was slashed down. While nothing has happened yet, there is definitely some cause for concern. Deku will also talk with Uchiha for a bit, as she and him have been getting a bit closer and closer since, they met. Then, both of them are on the verge of going on a date together, and they arrange it for after internships. So that's great for them. Deku will also have a different, hero name in this What If, so he's more so going to call himself Deku Uchiha. Well, I guess it was somewhat different, but still. The thing here is that I think Bakugo will use that name as the other name that Ochako gave him, and also I can't think of a better name without giving him a core name like Sharingan, or just giving him his regular name, which is Izuku. And as for the Uchiha part, this is Deku trying to take his namesake and his power and make it into a positive. Also, I think this will allow me to make the tribute red in the meme saying, I feel like Deku Uchiha, so that's fun. And how would the class feel? They're fine with it. They like the name and they don't, fully know about the tragedy of the man who committed the atrocity or, the name of the last name or whatever, so, or it could be on the tip of their tongue, like with someone like Momoyai Rose or something like that. But that tragedy doesn't really have nothing to do with them since they weren't there, so yeah. And even if they did figure out the last name, I feel like they would be somewhat fine with it if Deku had like a reason for it, so there is that. Also, Deku hasn't told Bakugo or Ochako about his lineage, I guess. So there's some frustration there from Bakugo and Ochako since Deku's kind of hiding something. But Deku's worried that if he says, his true lineage, I guess, he's worried he'll lose his friends. So because of that underlying fear, he wants to keep that to himself. It sucks for him, but based on his past, it's understandable. So, yeah. Deku will one day be heading home from his internship with Night-Eye and Gran Torino, who was also there during the internship, as well as Mirio. Then a hosted city attack will happen like in canon, as Shigaraki and Deku's father unleash the Nomo on the city. So, yeah. Both will make the comment that the time for the plan to set in motion begins now. Deku will leave for the fight, while Mirio will go with Deku to help him, as Deku is very concerned about Ida since, this attack is happening where he's doing his internship. Deku will come up clutch and save Ida from Stain and will show off his Sharingan. This will cause Stain to have a bit of rage in him, as we all know that the Sharingan kind of is a bit of a trigger for those who remember the incident 15 years ago. Deku will see his rage as Stain makes his aura known, but Deku for some reason will be able to fight back and, not get immobilized by it. Stain will say, "Those eyes, the same as that man. You are the son he talked about. You are the biggest fake out there, walking around thinking you can become a hero when you have the eyes of a villain. At least the fakes I've dealt with don't have any eyes of a villain. You don't even deserve to think about becoming a hero. You are the one who deserves to die the most. Only cripple that guy's brother. You. I'm gonna do so many worse things to you." Deku sees that same glare that has been given to him all his life. Hearing this from what he sees as a villain, saying that he doesn't deserve to become a hero, it kinda isn't great to hear, Ida and Mirio will say not to listen to him, but they don't fully know what's going on, as they see Deku as a righteous hero, and has proven so many times that he is a righteous hero, but it's enough to break through some of Deku's insecurities about himself because of his past and his lineage and stuff like that. Deku will do his feint over as he uses Sharingan to avoid the sword that Stain has, and will smash Stain into the ground, along with Ida, since Mirio kinda helped him out in a little situation. And throughout the battle, he does show his righteous nature, referring to Deku, but is enough to convince Stain about whether or not he's a fake or not. Ida will go for the same character development as in canon, more so because he saw Deku get bullied by Stain mentally, and wants to at least, defend his friend a little bit. So, yeah. Also, Shoto will not appear here as he is not needed since Mirio is there, so, yeah. After Deku and Ida deal with Stain, both of them will leave, and then Deku will be grabbed by the Nomu, and then all of a sudden a figure appears and saves Deku, but it isn't Stain this time. The figure will send the Nomu away, almost like he controls the thing, and then the figure reveals his Sharingan, and the figure is revealed to be Deku's father. Deku will say, "What are you doing here?" he says angry, which is understandable because, Deku's father will say, "Why are you so angry at me? I did save you after all," he says with a smile. Deku will then say, "Shut up! Did you cause this invasion on the city? Why?" Deku's father will say, "Just to cause some chaos, of course. You seem to be getting stronger and stronger, and that means you are getting closer and closer to your decision. Soon you will see your hopes of being a hero, they're all pointless. You will see that you should join the side of darkness, because at the end of the day, the power of the Sharingan always wins." Deku will say, "I'll never join anything that has anything to do with you." "You may say that now," says Deku's father, "but what will you be saying when you have to make your decision between light and darkness?" Deku's father disappears, and Deku's left wondering what will come next. Later on, Ida and Mirio will talk with Deku, and Deku will admit everything since he kinda kept the stuff hidden from them, and all his classmates and stuff like that. I just didn't want his connection to that man, be known and stuff like that. This causes Ida and Mirio to understand fully why Deku chose the name of Uchiha as, his hero name, as Deku Uchiha, as he's connected to a very tarnished name, and he wants to turn that name from negative to a positive. Deku says that he kept that again for so long because of the stuff he went through in his childhood, where he was hated for the incident that was caused by his so-called father, and he talks about the glares, the mental abuse he went through, and even how a group of people had discovered that his father had a son, which was him, and wanted to murder him as a baby, and how that was stopped by All Might. Ida and Mirio feel bad for Deku, and they both say they respect Deku as a hero, and in the case of Ida, sees Deku as a great friend. Deku smiles and thanks both Ida and Mirio, and will now work on talking to Ochako and Bakugo about this. Deku first reveals the information to his best friend, as he has been the most thirsty for the information. When Bakugo learns all this, he finally now sees why he has suffered so much in his life. It definitely wasn't right, but now he finally at least knows the reason why, Bakugo will still support Deku because they've been friends since the beginning, and there's nothing that can break that friendship up, so, they're good. Deku will then talk with Ochako about, his lineage, and Deku hasn't really had as much time to bond with Ochako as he did with Bakugo because he and Bakugo were childhood friends, and also Ochako never really saw the stuff Deku went through as a child because different, areas and stuff like that in terms of schooling and whatever, so, but you would think that Ochako would be on the side of Deku since Deku is a friend, of course, and also they're dating, or about to date, I guess, since, they have their first date come up soon. And you would be correct, as Ochako sees Deku as a good person and a great hero, so of course Ochako would still love and respect Deku. At the end of the day, Deku still keeps people who are important to him, and has kind of let out a secret that he's been holding inside of him for so long, so that kind of feels good for him. Deku kisses potential new girlfriend, as that was pretty great for him, and now we get into the final exams, where stuff remains the same generally, but Bakugo and Deku work together a lot earlier than did in original canon, because, they are friends, so, yeah. And All Might is noticing Deku is progressing well after the final exam, and wonders why he was so worried about him becoming corrupt in the first place, because Deku seems great, but then again, you might not want to make the same mistake twice. but we'll get to that later. And then Deku and Ochako, of course, have their first official date, and it goes pretty well. Things in Deku's life are starting to go pretty well right now. However, things are about to change. The rest of the tests will go relatively the same again for the final exam, so like that, and we go back into the incident at the mall, where there was none, so everyone feels calm first, as there seems to be nothing coming at all, but from within the shadows, there seems to be a new League of Villains emerging as they welcome new members like Dabi, Toga, and everyone else, so yeah. As Deku's summer camp thing comes around, well, guess what, there's a new plan for the League of Villains in this canon, and of course that is to, kidnap Izuku. When Deku was defending Koda and Muscular appeared, who recognized Deku from the pictures, Deku still wanted to defend Koda while not getting captured. So, yeah. However, once again, his father appeared, this time holding Koda hostage while he was fighting Muscular. Deku, of course, be angry seeing his father again, but there isn't much he can do because, again, Koda is now being held hostage. Deku's father will say, "What will you choose, O righteous hero? Your safety or the safety of this boy? What will you choose?" Deku will have to surrender, and both Deku's father and Muscular will take Deku and will start leaving the camp. Before this happens, Koda will say, "No! Flee for your safety, you don't have to do this for me." Deku will then just shake his head, telling him that his safety is more important, and Deku's father and Muscular will just head out, as Koda is right now devastated because he saw someone sacrifice his life for him. And he then decides to run and go for an adult, and that will soon be Aizawa, probably. Meanwhile, Ochako, Bakugo, and the other members of Class 1A are dealing with the villains and are kind of distracted with all that's going on. Aizawa will soon be told by Koda of what had happened and will call a red alert, and then the League will hear that the plan worked and stuff like that they have now a target, and all the villains are able to escape via Kurogiri. And Bakugo is right now devastated because he lost his best friend, and so will Ochako as, she lost her boyfriend. And right now, the entire Class 1A is right now also dealing with the loss of Deku, and a failed, battle against the villains. Now, as we get into the actual hospital stuff, as everyone's trying to assess their injuries, Bakugo will be the guy who will lead a charge for saving Deku, along with Ochako, as Momo at some point will still put a tracking device, so yeah, that's pretty good. So we have Shoto, Momo, Ida, Bakugo, and Ochako in on this plan. Meanwhile, All Might will go to Ingo and will comfort her as she's devastated that her son has been kidnapped by, that man, as she calls him. All Might will promise that he will get her son back, and then, Inko will say thank you, but that's not what Inko is concerned about at the moment the most. She does want her son back, but she's worried that the influence of his father could cause Deku to flip like he did all those years ago. All Might will promise Deku will be the same, Deku, I guess, like he always was, as there was no way he will flip, but deep down, All Might's kind of worried about that exact thing happening to Deku himself, because who knows what Deku's father could do to him and stuff like that. But I feel like All Might is trying to give himself some hope that that won't happen. Meanwhile, Deku at the, League of Villains hideout will be stuck with Shigaraki and everyone else, and they're trying to convince Deku to switch to their side, as Deku's father wants to see how well these guys can, do that without him using his trump card, but it won't really work as, again, Deku's trying to become a hero and wants to stick to his righteous heart. Deku's father will mock their attempts, and he will say, "I guess if my comrades' attempts to convince you won't work, allow me to do it myself. Let me reveal the true secret of the Uchiha. We were given our power from All For One, with the original servant of All For One being his most powerful warrior. We are meant to be his loyal servants till the day we die, and if we try to move outside the line, we'll eventually be consumed in darkness. I was the son of that servant of All For One, and I was different from my father. I was actually pure at first, and when my foster parents told me about my father and all this information, I made sure to hold myself and never use that power, because I never want to associate myself with the power of that man, a man who worked with All For One. It never worked out, as you can see. I married your mother, I had a kid, which was you. At the end of the day, it never worked out, even if I had plans to start a family and have a child, and watch as you went out in the world and did your thing. I was so corrupted by that power. All Might made the mistake he corrected after the tragedy I caused, which was he never kept watching me, because there was no problem with the son, then I'll be fine, and all I had to do was just have a fresh start in life, and since I was an orphan, I wasn't put in the hands of loving parents. But he never did enough because the power would corrupt me. The dark side of me convinced me on how was it fair that I should restrict my own power because of the actions of my own father. which actually led me into me attempting to use my own power for the first time secretly. But most of all, the power I was given convinced me of one thing, that here society needs to be destroyed because it still creates villains, even the society, the perfect society that All Might created. And that's when the darkness took control of me. Then that day happened, and All Might would kill me. Well, he thought he killed me, but I used the power of the Izanagi. Darkness at the end of the day won. Even with All Might's involvement in your development, the darkness will still win. You are meant to be a soldier of All for One. He was a fool to give you One for All. Now stick to the traditions of your bloodline, and serve your master All for One, and soon Shigaraki. You can even get power that no Uchiha has ever been able to obtain, as my father never really had any attachments to loved ones, including the woman who birthed me, and I never really could kill the one closest to me, which was your own mother. She was lucky, I guess. You can obtain great power, and make every dream that you've ever had become a reality. Deku will be shocked with all this information. He is torn because on one hand, he doesn't know what to do with this information. What information did the dark side of his father tell him more so about Here Society, and does it really need to be destroyed? And then Deku wonders if the darkness will take over him anyways. On the other hand, why should he abandon his loved ones, his friends, and everyone else? Why should he throw all that away? Deku then sends to his mindscape in front of Nana and Dark Deku, as both of them will make the cases they made with each other in conversations. Also, Deku will realize the dream he had was real and kind of geeks out for a bit that, well, Nana is here before calming down. Dark Deku telling Deku that Here Society creates villains and will say the same stuff he told Nana, and until it's destroyed, there will always be new villains because this is Here Society, blah, 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 blah. Plus, he'll get new powers and all that other type of stuff because if he actually falls through with darkness, he can potentially, have to separate himself from loved ones, but in exchange, he'll have great power. Now, Nana will make the case herself that Here Society is flawed, but there can be improvements added to it, and it doesn't need to be fully destroyed, it's just tweaked, Plus, why should Deku ban his friends in All Might? Deku will now have to think hard about this decision. The heroes will come in and try to save Deku, but will encounter All for One like in Neutral Canon. This is where the Deku Rescue Squad, as I will call them, will come in clutch, and will do the similar stuff that Deku and Kami did in Neutral Canon. The Bakugo was one of the, boosters, and Chaku is playing the role of Kirishima. Deku's father synthesis is the point for Deku's true decision, because if Deku joins his friend, Deku's father has officially failed, and if he doesn't, or does something else, then Deku has chosen darkness, and, well, Deku's father is won. Deku will see both Nana and Dark Deku reach out their hands in front of him in a vision, and whichever hand he touches will be Deku's choice. Now, I'll go into two endings for this one, and you have to interpret which one is the true ending, and if you want to skip whichever ending you want, I'll leave timestamps in a comment or something like that. First off, the light ending. Deku makes a choice we would expect as he takes Nana's hand and goes to his girlfriend, and of course he'll take her hand, and is now safe and sound. After this, Dark Deku will disappear, shocked that Deku beat the darkness after all that. Deku's father sees that he failed and then will disappear himself. Deku will see that All Might took care of Muscular, but that has kind of put him in a weird position against All for One, as he have to go beyond his usual limits to beat All for One. All Might will still beat All for One, but at a cost. The United States has smashed his cannon is the last flame of All Might's power, and also his last flame of Flames of Life. So as All Might raises his fist and says, "You are next" to Deku, he collapses. Deku will see this and will be shocked, and so will the entirety of Japan. All Might will be taken to the hospital and will say his last words to Deku, saying that he will be a great hero and that he always believed in him and all this other type of stuff, and then will die, and Deku in devastation will unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, as All Might meant a lot to him. The Air World is shocked and mourns the loss of All Might, and Deku from that point on will be stronger and a better leader and will conduct himself better. This is because All Might is not with him, and one of the things All for One talked about in the actual canon, as he was mocking All Might, was that he should have died because it would have helped with Deku's growth, like it did with Shigaraki in the manga, but I don't want to say anything about the manga. That's all I'll say about it, so you'll see if you read it, So, yeah. All for One, as he talks with Sir Knight and Gran Torino in prison, will say it will be interesting to see how both the successors will do, as both of them will now probably become very strong in the absence of their teachers. Koto will be glad Deku's okay, as is Inko, but she's also sad that All Might is now gone. Deku's new Mangekyo powers here will be the Amaterasu and Tsukiyomi, and of course Flame Control like Sasuke and Itachi combination. The next couple arcs remain the same, as Deku will dominate the provisional license exams, and the overhaul arc will go relatively the same as well, as Deku will defeat Overhaul and save Eri, and even the Gentle arc, but Gentle kind of respects Deku as he was kind of a bit of an outcast himself in a way, but those arcs are easier for Deku because of Deku's new abilities. That's about it for the light ending. Now for dark ending. Deku will touch the hand of Dark Deku, and Nana is in shock, as Dark Deku will sneer as he has won, and Deku will go up to his classmates with, like usual, like in a light ending, and then Deku will make the choice to kill his best friend and will Karai Bakugo and everyone else down by using his One For All and Sharingan powers, and then Deku uses Sharingan Chakra to stab Bakugo, as he gives his very sinister face. Deku, on the inside, is devastated he did this, but this will allow him to unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, and Deku will kill the rest of his classmates in Ideo, Chaco, Shoto, and of course Momo. Deku is in pain from doing this, as he kills some of his best friends, but his power just keeps on growing. He also even has the powers of the best hero, and now has everything accelerated for him. Deku's father will smile, and All Might's just devastated because the kid that he watched, grow up and all this other type of stuff, well, he's now evil, and he's just seeing history kind of repeat itself. All For One and Deku's father will also kill All Might because, they get their revenge, I guess, and the rest of the heroes in the area as, Deku participates as well, and their power is just way too much. All For One is pleased as the chaos will continue again, and there will be no one who will stop him and Shigaraki and everyone else. Deku will be asked by Shigaraki why he made the choice, to which Deku will respond and say, "The darkness was right. Hero society needs to be destroyed." 1 year later, the world is set back in a state it once was when All For One first came in the picture. Shigaraki and Deku stand triumphant, for they have won. Hero society has been destroyed, and now they can reset into something else. Deku remembers all the friends he acquired and the love of his mother and All Might. He remembers his remaining classmates trying to save him, but it was no use as he killed them as well. He remembers his mom begging for him to become that boy he once was before dying at the hands of his own father. Fitting, I guess. Deku just had to fulfill the cycle of chaos, the cycle of hatred. The end. Thank you all for watching part 5 What If Deku Was an Uchiha. I hope you guys enjoyed the series, as it was fun to create, and I hope you guys like the 2 endings. I will potentially go into the manga for the light ending, if you guys want that, or if you think, I guess, the dark ending's a true ending, I guess, well, I guess the story's over, but for the light ending, I will go into the manga, so, yeah. Get ready for saying Naruto tomorrow. Watch my community type like a hawk. That is really important. Check out Beefy Halo. That really does help me out. And finally, follow me on Twitter for no way to get notified of my videos. Instagram for memes and smartphone stuff in between. And finally, join my Discord for access to bunch content, notifications when I live stream ahead of time, and of course, the ability to send me ideas directly. These are all great ways for you guys to interact with me. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and join my Discord server. Shout out to my $10 patrons, their names are on screen, my $20 patron X1 Gamer, and my $50 patron Anguish. If you want to support me further and get rewards to the shoutouts like these, go to my Patreon, which is linked in the description. Let's get to 18K and beyond, and eventually hit 20K. Let's get it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share the video. This has been your boy, the Anime Sage, signing out. Peace, Yorta. Then you close us out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Hi, this is Stephanie Shea, voice actress for Sailor Moon, Hinata, Orihime, and you are watching Anime Sage.